Gosh dang it. So here I am, Tuesday night, Nigel, live. I've got one watcher. I bet you it's Mark Ortlieb. Let's see who comments first. Mark, is it you? Whoever it is, I'm glad to have you here. My frustration is growing on a daily basis with Duncan. Let me see here real quick. Let me see if they've answered at all. All right, I've got 4 likes to my post, but I basically, here's one of the advantages of having a social media following. Now, my social media, hello, Crystal, how are you? Hello, Carsey. Hello, Kaylee. Here's my frustration. Oh, by the way, I have a story to tell you, and I'll get to the Duncan story in a minute. Today was my first of 2 funerals this week. Got one today, got one Thursday. And it was a beautiful service. Now, this is my brother-in-law's mother, and their faith is Jewish, and they are, if you've ever been to a Jewish funeral graveside service, it is a very emotional, moving thing because they tell the story of her life. She was 93 years old, and she didn't feel good last Friday, and she was taken into the hospital to be looked at, and they decided she needed a pacemaker. But she had talked to her children the night before, and the day she was on Friday of last week, they went to visit her, and she didn't look good, but she was communicating with them, and she slowly declined, and she passed, and it was a shock. All right. Hey, Deb, this was the same, day that Cousin Darty died. Now, I want to make something clear because I'm running the banner across the bottom to raise funds to keep producing. This story I'm telling, I'm not looking for sympathy donations, okay? So I'm telling you that right now. If you can donate, great, but don't feel obligated because I'm telling a sad story. So, and she loved her children. She used to often tell me I was like a son to her, and she loved me. She used to tell me, you know that. And she was just an awesome, awesome lady. She loved the sun rose and set on her grandchildren. And now she had great grandchildren also who were lucky. I mean, one of them's 3 years old. I think one's 4 years old and one's 7 years old. So they had some time to know their grandmother, great grandmother, their booby. So that was great. But let me tell you something about this Jewish ceremony. When we got there, hello, Georgia. When we got there, there's the hearse and there's the grave, which is open, and there's a pile of dirt next to it. So they have a tradition that a Jewish friend of mine explained to me where they take, oh, wait, people are talking in the other chat. Let me add that up here. Where they take, Carsey, I'm going to shut this until I'm done telling this story. Where they take, when the rabbi is done speaking, they have shovels there, and anybody that wants can stick the shovel into they lower the casket. Now, I've never, any of, being of the Christian faith, that's mostly, I've been to 2 Jewish funerals in my life. And I don't remember this from the last time because it was 1997. But they take the shovel upside down and they stick it in the pile of the dirt and they lift it up and they dump it into the casket. I've never seen a casket lowered while you're there. And then after dumping the upside down, with the shovel upside down, dumping the dirt in, they then flip it over, take another scoop, lift it up, and dump it on the coffin. And I asked a friend of mine what that signifies. And he explained it by saying, using the front of the shovel is life, and the back is significant of death. And I got to tell you, when these people that went up and took scoops of the dirt and dumped it on, you could hear it hit the top of the metal coffin. It was very moving, and it was just a beautiful service. And you could tell by the amount of people there and how upset they were that they, she meant that much to everybody. So, and she's going to be greatly missed. She's going to be a hole at the dinner table at holidays and all for forever. But now myself, my sisters, my brother-in-laws are the old farts in the family. So my nephews and nieces will be on watch for when we go. So anyway, there's that. But it was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And I feel for her family. And not to make it about me, it's a loss for me too, but it's mainly a loss for her children and grandchildren. But it was nice. It was a very nice, poignant ceremony. Now, I've stopped doing the live broadcast. Right now, I show 7 people in the room. For the past couple months, it's been getting up to 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, even 180 one time. And Twitch, I used to be on, right now I'm on Facebook, Nigel Bach, Nigel Bach Official, Facebook at Bad Ben Movie, and YouTube at Nigel Bach Productions. And also this is visible on Bad Ben TV. But what makes this, the reason why Twitch, I always get 1 or 2 people. But I used to be up until tonight, I would broadcast on Twitter at Nigel Bach and at Bad Ben Movie. That is where these dozens of additional viewers were coming from. But the Twitter people would barely comment. And I've come to believe, I think, that they're not active viewers. Once in a while, someone on Twitter will comment, but I think it's on somebody's screen. And because it's playing and I have followers on there, it gives a false number. So I want to talk to, there's only 7 people in here, which is about 1/10. There's 10 now, 9, which is about 1/10 what I've been averaging, or 1/5. No, I got that backwards, or 20% of what I don't know, whatever. But it's like 10%, maybe 5% of what I've been getting. But you 9 people that are in here right now are only watching on Facebook or YouTube. You could also be watching on Bad Ben Movie. But let me bring this up here, see who's in the chat. Just Carsey. All right. So I want to talk to active people. And it's 11 of you, which is fine. Because I know there's 11 people actually watching. And not 60 Twitter accounts that aren't watching. So anyway, so let me tell you one of the things, though, about having a decent social media following. Now, I know by no means have a huge social media following, but I have a lot of people that watch, that follow my Instagram, like 3,000. I've got a couple thousand on both Twitters. I've got 10,000 on Facebook. But when something happens and you have to post and bitch about it, and the business you're bitching about notices that you have a following, well, it does get something done. So we'll see if I'm full of shit or not. This is Dunkin' Donuts. We had a guy that worked at Dunkin' Donuts who was worked there for years. He was an employee, then he became the assistant manager, then he became the manager. Well, Dunkin' Donuts has become a fucking machine. Just push people through, push people through, push people through. And management above the store manager, corporate, is not giving the support they need to give to these local Dunkins. One thing, for instance, they could do to make easier is be able to tip through the app. Even now, when we go into the pretzel place to pick up pretzels, you can pick a price to tip. Starbucks, you can pick a price to tip. Crumble cookies, you can pick a percent, to tip. You can tip right from the app. As it is now, because my app is tied to my debit card, when I place an order, it automatically comes off. But if I want to tip, you have to hand them cash, which is fucking stupid. Okay? So often corporate does not take and respond to anything until enough people bitch. So TJ, who worked at this Dunkin' for years, and I mean to tell you, you want to talk about a guy who never sat on his ass. We used to watch him. For years, we watched him. And he was friendly, and he worked his ass off. And things ran relatively smooth based on the support he was getting. Then they took away the ability for him to order donuts, and corporate was sending them what they thought they needed. Whatever. So they wound up telling him, now, TJ doesn't drive a car. He's got 2 children, I think, and he would walk every day a half an hour from his home there to work. And they told him that they're going to demote him and move him to Ocean City, which is over a bridge and would take him probably 90 minutes to walk to, or he'd have to take an Uber, which would cut into his earnings, which was just ridiculous. So he quit. So they put a new manager in there, and she was nice, but she was overwhelmed. And this district manager, who used to be the manager there, would come in once in a while and sit there and just like oversee everything. He was a pain in the ass. And I think, I don't know, none of them ever said anything, but it was just weird that he would sit there. And if he was sitting there, he should have been offering support to them to get things fixed. Now, this might seem like a little deal, what I'm about to show you. But this new manager that was there, every day we were going, unless we went at 5 a.m. when they opened, they had a line around the entire building that went out to the parking lot entrance. And we sometimes would pull up there, and it would be a 25-minute wait to get up to place your order. Now, we would place our order through the app, and they were making it already. But most of these people, I would often joke about it, how they sit there and they're like, oh, I'll take, when they get up to the window. So they got to make the order after they order it, and you'll stop because they get up to the window and they're now having to make their order because they couldn't order it through the app. So I've suggested you should make it, raise your prices 10% and lower the price for people using the app by 10%. And that would drive all these people to start using the app. At Starbucks, our Starbucks down there does not have a drive-through. But the one on the other end of town does have a drive-through, and that's always backed up. So, but when you walk in Starbucks after placing your order on the app, you can walk right over to the counter, pick up your drink, walk right out. Never a wait. So here's what's been happening. We order 2 donuts every time we go there. 2 glazed donuts. About 2 weeks ago, we started experiencing where they would hand us 1. And I said, we ordered 2. And the manager one day says, well, look, it says 1. She would show me the receipt. Look, it says 1. So I said, well, I ordered 2. It's the same order every day. That's all right. And so she'd give us another one. That frustrated me because it's almost as if I'm lying to get a free donut. So I pull over, I get the order with the 2 donuts. I pull over and I look at the receipt, and the receipt says 1 donut, but $2.98. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly says she loves the movies. It would show 1 donut, but $2.98. Well, the cost of a donut is $1.49. So 2 donuts is $2.98. So it should have said either 1 at $1.49, or it should have said 2 at $2.98. But it said 1 at $2.98. So I went in to point this out, and the girl I pointed out to, I didn't get to speak to the manager. She was like, well, I'll just give you another donut. I said, we got the second donut. My point is there's a problem with your app. And she looked at me like I had a set of balls on my forehead. So I just left. The next day we ordered, same thing, 2 donuts. They give us 1. I said, that should be 2. And I said, look at the price. It's $2.98. How much is 1 donut? $1.49. I said, okay, so why does it say 1 at $2.98? So they're burned. So today we go there. It happens again. And I say something. I said something to the manager, and she said they can't fix the app. Corporate has to do it. So a place that's already got a line around the building, going nuts. People are getting less than what they ordered for, and they have to come back or go inside. Corporate could help them by fixing the fucking app. It's been 2 weeks. People ought to stop going there. And they ought to take to social media and say, the reason why I've stopped going there is because you people are fucked up. Fix the app. So here is the receipt. And I actually made a post of this on Twitter. That's the receipt. That is 2 days ago. And you see the arrow on the left that says 1 donut glazed, but the arrow to the right shows the price is $2.98. Well, Fender, technology does better our lives, but this is something because it's so tied up in bureaucracy and planning. Dunkin' Donuts also used to make the donuts there. They get them in every morning, shipped. So this is what I sent. Hi, Adam. Hey, Dunkin', do you plan on fixing your app anytime soon? Every morning I order 2 glazed donuts. They give me 1. I then have to point out that 1 costs $1.49 and 2 costs $2.98, which appears on this receipt. This has been going on for 2 weeks. The employees are frustrated. the manager quit. This poor lady that was the manager there for a couple weeks looked on the verge of tears every time I saw her. Duncan, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. That receipt should either say 1 donut glazed $1.49 and a second line that says 1 donut glazed $1.49, or it should say 2 donut glazed $2.98. So I posted that about 15, 20 minutes ago. Well, I've been on 20 minutes, so it was about a half an hour ago. So normally when you at somebody in a text, you will get a response from them. But so far, nothing. Got 7 likes. But so the more likes it gets, the more it will affect them. So it just frustrates me. You got this poor lady that was made a manager, and with that comes certain frustrations. But this is something you could fix, Duncan. Get on it. Well, Kaylee, I hear what you say about reason why I'll never work in food industry was so stressful and management never helped. This was a manager that couldn't help. And this was not a manager sitting in the back office doing shit. This is a manager out there with the front line working. And she was frustrated. She wound up quitting. And it frustrates me because if there's one thing I can't stand, it's when management or corporate does not support their employees. Face it, corporate doesn't have to deal with aggravated people. And, well, what happens, Fender, is you got somebody that gets in line and waits 25 minutes. They take their bag, they don't look inside, they pull away, and then they realize they got 1 donut instead of the 2 they paid for. And you think they're going to get back in that line? No, but they're not going to come again. And if there's one other thing I can't stand, it's when I see a manager be rude to an employee in front of customers. If that ever happens when I'm around, I call that fucker out right on the spot. I say, hey, you got a problem with their performance, take them in your office or aside and tell them. Don't fucking humiliate them or embarrass them in front of the world. I don't need to hear it. And they don't need to suffer the humiliation, you fucking douche. Yeah, but this franchise, I don't think this Dunkin' is a franchise. It used to be. I think it's corporate owned. Whatever the case, even if it's a franchise, corporate's the one that controls the app. So, hey, Russell, so get it fixed. Support your employees. And don't send this fat turd that goes in there and sits down, who's arrogant, by the way. Don't have him go in there and sit down. If I see him sitting down in there again, I'm parking the car and I'm going in and I'm saying, hey, Barney Rubble, listen, do you know what's going on with the app? And he's going to be like, yeah, you can't fix it. I said, then fucking shut and lock the doors. Shut and lock the fucking doors. Take a bullet for the team. You get fired. And then sue. It is just so unbelievable. And I know this is something simple, minuscule, but it's not. Because I know it's affected me multiple times. I'm just bitching, Russell. You didn't catch me at a bad time. I swear I ought to say to this guy, you ought to give that manager that quit here a phone call and apologize to her and say, I'm sorry I didn't support you. Duncan, maybe tomorrow will reply to my tweet. Oh, can we direct message you? There's nothing to direct message. Your fucking system blows ass. I mean, what you're asking the employees to do now, and in the example, you see the red box around here. It's one donut for $2.98. That should be one donut for $1.49, or it should be what we ordered: two donuts, $2.98. But it's not. This happens regularly, and you know the amount of what they're asking to do in the meantime. The employees are so overwhelmed in there. There's so much going on that are they supposed to stop, read the amount, do the math? Say somebody ordered 3 donuts. Well, that's another $1.49. So that would be $3.98 plus 49 cents, which would be like $3.46. So are they supposed to sit there with a calculator and say, okay, this price is $3.46 divided by $1.49. Okay, that is, or $3.47. That is 3 donuts. When you can fix your fucking app. But Kaylee, these people can't quit because all these places now have, it's been mandated for them to raise the minimum salary to $15. And they need to take, and they think they're working their way up or something in the store, and they need to, and by the way, it's not, didn't we test this at the other one? EH10, it was the same problem, right? So it's not this store, it's app wide. It's all Dunkins. So I realized I don't have a gigantic social media following, but I do have enough of a social media following that hopefully it gets something done. Now, you see, without Twitter active here, I've got 8 active viewers when I've been averaging 50 to 100. And I get so few comments from the people that come in from Twitter that it leads me to believe that number's a false positive. It's not my job to get on corporate's ass, but it's my responsibility to bring it to light. And I mean, that is the picture they got. So they've got on that receipt, they've got all, they don't have to write me back a message and say, oh, can we direct message you to get the details? The fucking details are right there. Store number, check number, item. And what's it say on the bottom? Tell us about your experience at so-and-so. I ought to go to that website and fucking blast them. It's just frustrating. So that's my rant on that for the night. So what's next now is tomorrow I just do what I do every day. I'm working on Frankenstein. By the way, these are my new glasses. Hope you like them. Tomorrow we do our normal routine, and then I come back here and I work on this, and there will be, then Thursday is Cousin Doherty's funeral. Thank you, J-Lo. And it's like I have had where now, if you try to send it, like when I would send an email out to all the followers, I used to send it through the email program, and the email address it was coming from was Nigel@nigelbach.com. Well, we had to change that to some benign, freaking ass, weird Nigel@nigelbach.com at whatever.something.com, because to combat spam, they started blocking accounts that would email a lot. So I would get bouncing from Gmail, from Hotmail, from Outlook. My emails would bounce until I went and it had to install a file on my server that says, hey, I'm legit. But as far as I'm concerned, if you say your name was Tony@gmail.com and you send me an email that I can't reply to because it would bounce, they ought to not be able to send it to me so they know I'm not receiving it. What happens is I get emails and I would reply to them and it would bounce, so they would think I'm ignoring them. So now they go through all these hoops where I've got a legitimate business that's trying to keep in contact with my Benites, and I try to email them and it bounces. Yet right up here on my left here is an email from, let's see what the account address is. Did my computer, why is my mail locking up? Okay, hang on. This is an email to me. This is from sa.com, but I've gotten them often from Google. Penetrating pleasure. When it comes to giving your lady full body orgasmic pleasure, it's about the size of the boat or the motion in the ocean. So I'm getting probably 15 of those emails a day. Today, I get a message from my insurance company, my health insurance broker, that says notice of cancellation. So I emailed the broker that sold it to me. Haven't heard back from him yet. And I said, what is this? You take out the money. You took out the money the 15th. You took out the money the 13th because it comes out in two separate payments. What is this? What's canceled? Now, I do know that they did away with their dental plan. So maybe that's a message to say, but it just says notice of cancellation. This is confirmation that your membership has been canceled. Membership to what? So anyway, that wasn't my health insurance though, because my health insurance is still active. I used to email a lot, but now, when I email, like I'll announce that once in a while through the email blast to 2,000 people that I'm having a live on a particular night is something, relevant or exciting is happening. My regular broadcasts, you guys know about them. You guys on YouTube should probably get, if you follow, which you're probably subscribers, probably get notified that I'm here. And That's how you wind up coming in here. But when I do something special, or like when I release a new part of the movie, it's I send it to everybody. So, and I pay a shit ton of money for that program every month, like $70. And the health insurance is another pain in the ass, because I was using Amazon Pharmacy, and every prescription I got, I would get a notice that says we're waiting for prescriber pre-authorization. Well, guess what? You fucking geniuses. Why would the doctor write a prescription if they were not authorizing the prescription? And I'll tell you what it is. I switched to Aetna this year, and Aetna has a partnership with CVS. So they don't want you ordering from Amazon. They want you to go into CVS and order so that they get a piece of it, a cut of it. And I'm telling you, folks, especially because it's an election year for our congressman in our district, I'm about to fucking raise the stink. Because yesterday I get a text from a collection agency that says I owe $250 for a doctor's appointment. So it was 300 and something. But the reason why it's not 350 anymore is because I paid $90. Because I went in the doctor's office and I said, I found out that I wasn't insured in January. My insurance started February 1st. So when I came in here and I paid the deductible, they then ran and said, well, this person isn't insured. So I wound up back. That reminds me of something. I had in the mail the other day an envelope from USAA that said pay to the order of, I could see. And I don't think I ever got that letter. I'll have to go out there today to see. Did I bring in the mail yesterday?
I don't remember.
Probably not. I'll have to check. But anyway, this is like, so I say, so I get this bill for $350. Is that what an appointment cost here for somebody without insurance? They said, no, it's $99. So listen to this horseshit. They say that insurance only pays like a third of whatever we bill. So basically, you bill $350, so you'll get paid $110. And if a person doesn't have insurance, you just charge them like the $100. That's fraud. If the doctor wants $100 for an appointment, they ought to bill that, and insurance ought to pay $100. So I'm going to start a stink. I'm going to go to our local congressman and I'm going to say, why is it that the health insurance system that Trump said he'd fix, that Biden said he'd fix, that before them Obama said he'd fix, that before him, who was before him? Bush said he'd fix, that all the way back to Clinton. Hillary Clinton worked on a health insurance program that never gets fixed. So that's where my frustration is. That's what I'm bitching so much about. So let's see here. All right, there was on the 15th. I don't think I haven't checked. Well, what was yesterday? Monday?
Yes.
So the 15th would have been Saturday. Maybe I haven't gotten the mail since then, but it looks like there's a check in the mail to me. And I recognize it's USAA. I can't take it to the mailbox, but I can go check. How?
Yes.
Can you come say hi to the people for a minute? I'll let Mrs. Biggins talk to you.
Calm yourself down after all that ranting and raving.
Oh, I know. Nobody gives a shit.
Oh, hello. How's it going? Oh my God, I look horrible. I'm warm. I'm sticky. I'm one of those people that I would rather go to sleep sticky than to take a second shower during the day. I'm lucky if I can get up the motivation to take one every day. Anyway, how's everybody doing? My projects are going fine. I haven't crocheted in the last few days because my hands have been bothering me, but the projects are going well. I've been reading a lot, actually. You know what I'm reading right now? I bet nobody could guess what I'm reading right now. Oh, thank you. Yes, if you can't see it, it says, if you can't kill them with kindness, then try poison. I got it off the TikTok shop. Anyway, yeah, I've been reading a lot. Thank you. I really like this color. I got it the same time as I got the, I made you a batch of Shut the Fuck Up cakes, which is pink. So those are my two favorite shirts. Yeah, do it, Fender. They're like really soft, really good quality, and they're not expensive. So I would highly recommend them to anybody who wants them. They're on the TikTok shop. I don't remember the name of it, but if you search the title, it'll come up, I'm sure. I started reading yesterday. Well, I've been on like a nonfiction kick. I read 2 books by Chuck Klosterman. He is a what do you call it? I guess like pop culture sort of person. He also used to review music and stuff for Spin Magazine. His 2 books, I read the 90s and I Wear the Black Hat. Both really, really good. Then I finished a book. One book I finished was Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. No relation. And didn't like it at all. I only gave it 2 stars. It had started off really well, but the ending was really stupid. And then there was this love story that came out of nowhere that just was very cringy. But yesterday I started reading The Emperors of Rome by Mary Beard. So I don't know why, but I just suddenly wanted to read about the Roman history, and I am, and it's so good. I'm like 200 pages into it, and I'm really enjoying it. It doesn't feel like, sometimes if you try to read like a nonfiction or a history book or something, it feels like, like a textbook or something, but she brings a lot of humor, and it's just really good. And I look forward to reading other stuff by her. So, how much do I read in a day? There was a time when I was a lot younger that I read like 150, 175 books a year. So I could easily read like 6 or 7 books a week. There have been days when I finished a book in one sitting, but this book that I'm reading now is like 600 pages long. So, but I don't do that anymore. Last year, I think I read a total of like 60 books for the whole year, which is not bad, but nothing like what I used to. I have a lot of problems being able to focus on reading, and also I get bored a lot easier now. So I'm not in a book club. Yeah, it is. It's so super interesting.
Look at the size of that fucking check. $6.
Sorry. I'll leave now. Goodbye.
Here.
Huh? Don't want anything.
Now let's see what this head of household. Where are you going? So I've look at these jerk offs. This company sent me $1. It's a survey. How you want to do a national research survey?
For $1?
Yeah.
Not right now.
Well, I'll give it to you. You can do if you decide you want to do it, you can. Here you go. You can keep the $1 too.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Is that a real dollar?
I think so. You know, years ago, I found in our shit at the old house a Nielsen survey that had 50 cents attached to a card in it, 2 quarters, which that was probably 50 years ago, and that 50 cents went somewhere.
Hey. Stop.
Now let's see what this from. This is from Aetna. Well, this was just my past due 0 payments. Look, this is a notice from Aetna CVS. That is a bill for my monthly premium. It shows balance, previous balance, payments, payment due 0. It's 1, 2, 3 pages long. 3 pages to show me my bill is paid. That's why they're so panicked about a heat wave that is starting and why it's been the hottest it's ever been. And if you think that global warming is bullshit, you're full of shit. Sorry if you feel that way. USAA, why send me a check for $6 because of an overpayment? Why not just make next month's bill $6 less? Oh my God. They do. I check the non-paper option. I do that on everything. But you better, when those non-paper bills come, those electronic bills come, you better take and save a PDF of it to a file on your computer that you then back up into the cloud or on a thumb drive, because if there's ever an issue, you're going to need a copy of it. Oh, God. I'm so fired up. Amount raised so far during this broadcast, 0. Well, I could say it was $6 because I opened a check I got 3 days ago. Now, the steps for that not only did they have to print it out, Did they have to put it in an envelope? Did they have to ship it, that check? But now I've got to take, and I can use my phone app, which is convenient, but I got to take and go through the process of depositing it into my account. Our system is effed up. But you know it. What am I telling you? Like you're supposed to say, oh, Nigel just pointed out the system's effed up. You know it. That's right. First my hair with the clippers, then the donuts, and it's only Tuesday. Shit asses. But a tow truck driver helps King of Prussia mother after baby delivery on Pennsylvania Turnpike. Tow truck drivers driving down sometimes these major highways, these tow truck drivers that have contracts with the city will drive up and down the highway. Or because of the prices of gas, they've been parking at a rest stop, and they'll get a call and say, hey, there's a breakdown at such and such location. They'll go out and fix it or tow it off the highway. But this tow truck driver was driving down the highway in Pennsylvania and sees his car pulled over. He gets out, and here's a woman with a baby in her arms, that with the umbilical cord still attached, that just delivered. Good for him, though. Let's see if we got anybody watching on the on Bad Ben TV. No. Well, I've been reading some stories. There was when I read this shit, like little kids, something happens to their parents, they pass out or they fall, probably because they have kids driving them freaking nuts. But and the kids know, little kids know to dial 911. By the way, speaking of that, do you ever hear the little girl or the little boy that called to say he needs help with his homework? And he's asking a problem like, what is 9 times 7? And the dispatcher goes over it with him. And you hear the mother walk in. She says, who are you talking to? And he said, I called 911 for help with my math homework. And she's like, Bobby. And he said, you said to call 911 if I ever need help. And inflation is bullshit. And I'm telling you, yes, some goods have gone up in price, but why? Trace it back to the source. Why has anything gone up in price? It's because all the way back at the beginning of if it's ingredients to make something, something went up in price. Some part of the cost went up. So that all rolls downhill. But I'm telling you, there's businesses out there right now that are inflating their prices just because they think they can get away with it and blame it on inflation. You can't have the cost when they're sitting there and they're saying inflation's only up 4%. Yet, I'm telling you, groceries are double what they were a few years ago. And you know what? We're going to, and also part of the problem is the $1 trillion tax cut given to people during the last administration. And I'm not blaming that on Trump. I'm just saying. And then now they're not dealing with it. So the problem is we are going to sit here in November and we have the same two choices to vote for. And if anybody says things were better 3 or 4 years ago than they are now, not really. Things were different. But I'm telling you right now, what's going to happen is we're going to have the same two choices to vote for in November that we had to vote for in 2020. So do you think things are going to be different next year? They're not. Is there not a 40-year-old somewhere that can be a candidate for president? We got two 80-year-olds. And I see the Trump camp make fun of Biden's guffaws, his stumbling, his mumbling of words. And I see the Biden camp run commercials about Trump's rants. I see the CNN and MSNBC show Trump on stage fucking up on references he makes. I see Fox News show Biden on stage fucking up what he's saying. And you know what? We got, and this is not ageism, folks, but we got two 80-year-olds to choose from in November. And neither one should be pointing out the mental competency of the other, because I think they're both a little, Fender says to bring back JFK with the grimoire. There's an example of by the way, when something used to cost $1 and now it costs $2, that's not a 100% increase. That's a 200% increase. It's always been the weird thing about math. But if something costs $1 and now it costs $2, that looks like it doubled in price. Well, that means it's a 200% increase. Get out a calculator. Multiply $1 times 100%, and it's going to be $1. Multiply $1 times 200%, and it's $2. And you know what frustrates me more than anything, folks? And what is it now? June? So in 5 months, we'll have elected who's going to be president for the next 4 years. And guess what? Or we're going to elect our congressman and we're going to elect that. We're going to put the same. It's our fault. It's my fault. It's your fault. If you're just putting the same career politicians back in office. I would love to see, we don't even know if the Republican candidate's going to be eligible to run. Could you imagine if, listen, the president can do pardons at a federal level. At a state level, it requires the government to do pardons. So in the case of President Trump's New York trial, where he's, his sentencing is going to come out in July, he can't be pardoned, or he can't get reelected and pardon himself. What he can do is he can't even do that. So he can't pardon himself from that. If he gets charged federally with this classified documents case, he can pardon that. He can pardon himself when he becomes president. But think about this, folks. We could have a president who's in jail when he's elected, who, because he's a felon, can't even vote. And we got two guys that are in the same situation. They're both fucking 80 years old. They're both marble mouths, and yet that's the only choice we got. And the lies from all sides, the lies are like, ugh. I see. I'm just frustrated. So I'm back to normal numbers, like 10 people watching. So that basically means in a year of doing these live broadcasts, I haven't grown my audience at all. So I must be pretty boring. Because that Twitter shit was all fake. Hang on, Sable. Did I get that fucking thing? I've had this fly now down here for 2 days. I think I got it, though. I'm lucky I didn't smash my monitor. I would love to see. Well, you want to come up? Now, you know he's going to bark the second you do. Here's Sable, everyone. We're about to get a bark from the other one. Don't bite me. Don't bite. I love you. You're a good girl. You've been doing real good, too. But calm down. Oh, here he comes. Oh, fuck. Now a war has broken out over there between the two dogs. Aunt Fender says hello, Sable. So I'll just go, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add in Twitter.
Stop it.
We're at 7 people now. I've been averaging like 10. So now I just added Twitter Nigel Bach. And you'll watch these numbers go up. Let's see if Twitter, by the way, answered my no answer yet. I can't run for mayor. Kaylee, let me tell you something. I could not run for political office. I would be so frustrated running that it would be, I would lose my mind. I would probably drink poison. Oh, you know what? I wasn't showing this. So by adding one Twitter in, I just went up 50% to 13. Let me add the other Twitter in. Let me add Twitch in. And let's see where these numbers go. It's just, I'm so frustrated with the state of affairs right now. You just got a notification from Twitter. So the number is slowly climbing. Now let me see here. Do you know how on Bad Ben TV? Let me see. We've got yesterday 6/17, 112,821 seconds. Hey Google, what is 112,821 seconds in minutes?
112,821 seconds is equal to 1,880.35 minutes.
All right, I'm going to do something here. Let me do this bigger. 1,112,821 divided by 60 equals 1,800 minutes. 1,800 minutes divided by 60 equals 31 hours just yesterday of stuff watched on the channel. One, two, three, four, five, six. Hey Google, what's 6 times 427?
6 times 427 is 2,562.
I've got 2,500 subscribers, but they're not paid subscribers. Somebody just thank you for the donation. John, you're too much. Oh, there's this fucking fly again. I didn't kill it. Now we're up to 24 viewers like that from 10 because I added in Twitter. And I don't, if somebody's watching on Twitter, can you comment? Let me see. Let me go to Twitter. There it is. Tuesday Night Nigel. How? I got something to show you. Come over here and read this tweet. I could send it to you, but read just the top part.
I was going to send that to you. Not this particular one, but something else.
Hi,
Also-
Carsey. Thank you.
We
Now,
also had Molly and cocaine.
Justin
Poppers.
Justin Timberlake just got a DUI, and according to, I don't know how this guy would know,
It's on TMZ.
but he had Truvada in his system, which is a drug for HIV or hepatitis. I don't know that that's true. I thought it was for herpes.
I thought it was for HIV.
Truvada?
They gave that to people who didn't do well with that Prep C or whatever it was called.
Well, PrEP is to prevent you from getting HIV in the first place. Hey, Google, what is Truvada used for?
On the website cdc.gov, they say Truvada is one of several medications that are currently used to treat human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, and hepatitis B virus infection. Truvada is now being used to prevent HIV infection. When you take Truvada to prevent HIV infection, doctors refer to this use as pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP. To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
Oh, that's what I need now. I'll have that link pop up and I'll start getting ads for that.
Yeah, but you have Molly, poppers, cocaine.
And poppers is used to relax the butthole.
I know what poppers are.
He's taking it in the butt.
Well, they've said that for a long time. That gossip columnist woman who died.
Well, Disco Killer says it sounds like a setup.
Not
But-
a setup.
How do you...
The thing that I saw was on TMZ.
Yeah, well, TMZ normally won't expose themselves to a... I mean, they have been busted before.
And what's his face? Perez Hilton said the exact same thing.
Somebody wrote Truvada and Poppers Pride Month in the Hamptons. Well, he's married with kids, right?
Yep.
I know that doesn't mean anything.
Maybe his little friend should be tested. His little best friend.
Oh, it's going to come out. It always comes out.
And my best friend, I mean Jimmy Fallon.
So now we're up to 29 viewers because I added back in Twitter. So you guys on Twitter did comment, so people are, watching. Hi, Sable. Why are you so loving tonight and sassy?
Ian McKellen fell face first off the stage tonight.
Who?
Ian McKellen.
Oh my God, he's old. He fell face first off a stage.
He said he's expected to make a full recovery, but he did fall face first off the stage in London. And he said he couldn't feel his arms.
Oh, that's nice.
He's probably shocked.
Hi, Dusty. He was Magneto and Geldof, wasn't he? Or
Yes. Look at this cow.
are we getting a cow again?
Yes. Look at it with full bows.
Oh, Holly wants a cow.
Baby
I told her we
Highland
have to.
cow.
I told her we have to stop eating meat.
Highland cow.
It's still cow.
That's the cows that have the hair hanging in front of their face.
We will get a cow if you will agree that we will no longer eat hamburgers or steak
Okay.
or salami or bologna.
They're not really meat.
Yes, they
No,
are.
they're not.
Yes, they are.
They're mystery meat.
We're going to have to start eating just the tomatoes I grow.
And chicken. You can eat chicken.
What you seen? We had a duck.
I would give up red meat if you wanted to get a baby cow.
I'd rather eat red meat because red meat I don't have to feed. And you've seen how much these dogs shit out back.
Yeah, I know.
Could you imagine a cow? I'd be out there with a backhoe lifting up these 10-pound turds.
You don't know that. They might,
If they breed a cow that will eat its own shit, I'll get two of
you
them.
could get a goat.
Goats are cool. You ever see when they take goats to weed-filled properties and let them out and they clear the lots entirely?
My friend did. They had 2 goats for a couple days.
I'd wind up out there pulling them out of the meadow mud. Fender says it's fertilizer and I can sell it as organic. Fender, mind your business. The audience is growing and growing. So, funeral 1 down, funeral 2 to go. Is it dark out?
Yes.
Because I want to try to film something tonight out front. A fainting goat. Let me tell you, I would open the back door and find Sable out there. She would tackle a goat, and I'd have to run out there. I'd have about 4 seconds to pull her off before she tears it to shreds. Although a goat with horns could fuck you up.
I think you're being a little bit ridiculous right now.
Dusty said hi, Nigel and Holly.
Hello.
Hello, Dusty. Well, anyway, folks, I guess I'm going to end this broadcast and go film something while I can. So, if that's okay with you guys. So, I'm going to hop off here tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. So, see you. Love you.